about now? Check, check, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2. Welcome back. And at about 5:30 a.m. I woke up and was pretty fevery. I stayed up for about an hour and went back to sleep and I was fine. Yeah. I've heard the Moderna ones work. I've heard the Moderna ones work. Yeah. Supposedly, this is just a legend. But apparently if you've had COVID, you get sick from the vaccine and you get it again. So I guess I've had COVID right now. Yeah, same. Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure my dad had it, because like in February, he had all these flu vaccines and I tested him for everything every day. He had COVID before it was COVID.
And obviously COVID was long in the US.
Exactly. You had it before it was cool. Yeah, because this one didn't work last time. So it switches. Lovely. Yeah, it's a legend. There's no like medical research on it. But you know where it goes. According to the legend. Oh, you talking about, I thought you were talking about Coach. Yes. Mitch Lightfoot, what a guy. I'm not holding my breath now. That you hate to see. I don't like it. I don't know why. I just don't like Logan. He's got a punchable face. Save those eyebrows. I mean, I just want to stop. I want to stop watching this. Way worse. He's good. Also, do you see they're going to retire his number?
They already did.
How stupid is that? Agreed. He needs to get the NBA Hall of Fame. my favorite people in the world. Anime Gold Rush Nuts. He is. And he's pretty old. I think he's like 40. Wes Thomas, let's get that money! back to another episode of the Daily O, sponsored by Firo Pizza. I'm Brody Myers. Thank you for joining us this evening. We now have a live update on COVID-19 news. A U.S. study just released that has shown that the AstraZeneca vaccine is 79% effective. The vaccine maker is preparing to be applied for emergency authorization from the FDA. The coronavirus vaccine, developed by AstraZeneca and the University of Oxford, provided strong protection against COVID-19 in large clinical trials in the United States, all while causing no serious side effects. The trial involved more than 32,000 participants, which was the largest test of its kind for the shot. The trial also showed that the vaccine offered strong protection for older people. However, the vaccine is not yet authorized in the United States and may possibly not be needed. If AstraZeneca wins authorization here in the U.S., the vaccine would likely be prepared and available by May, which at that point federal officials expect that 3 different manufacturers will already have the authorization and be producing enough vaccines for all of the nation's adults. AstraZeneca has already been approved in over 70 different countries, but lacks clearance from the American government. If AstraZeneca can receive authorization and secure it, it would continue to help globalize the brand and bolster company's reputation. The results on Mondays came from a medical trial with volunteers where 2/3 of the participants were given the vaccine, with doses spaced 4 weeks apart, and the rest received a saline placebo. Volunteers were gathered from Chile, Peru, and the United States. None of the volunteers who got the vaccine developed severe symptoms or had to be hospitalized. A major bonus for the shot still. It all comes down to authorization from the FDA. People gathered across the country over the weekend to call for an end to anti-Asian violence. It comes after last week's deadly rampage at an Atlanta area spa, where 8 people were killed, but closer to home, family of the victims are still struggling to make sense of what happened. Here's the story.
Xiaojie Tan's family says she was living the American dream. After moving to the U.S., Xiaojie, whom friends and clients called Emily, started as a nail technician before working her way up to buy 2 spas outside of Atlanta. Beloved by her family, customers, and neighboring business owners, Tan was killed just 2 days before her 50th birthday.
I was just planning to get a cake and have a big dinner after work.
Her only child, Jamie Webb, had plans to meet up with her mom last Sunday, but she overslept. She would never have the opportunity to see her mother again.
When I thought that I have all this time with her, just because I missed that Sunday meeting with my mom, I thought we can always meet like any Sunday, any other day, just like before.
Instead, 2 days later, Webb spent 6 hours in a hospital waiting room as news of a shooting at Young's Asian Massage, her mother's business, dominated the headlines.
I was just hoping that it was not my mom. It was not my mom.
Webb says the extended family is still in China, and no one has had the heart to tell Webb's grandmother.
They were celebrating the birthday, and my grandmother was the only one who doesn't know my mom, that she passed away.
Tan's ex-husband, Michael Webb, said Tan often worked 7 days a week and talked about retiring and traveling the world.
And she'll never get to enjoy that. She just worked to die.
The fact that 6 of the 8 victims were Asian women, the fact that these businesses were owned by Asian people, is hard to ignore. Jamie Webb says she understands the Asian American community's overall anxiety over the rise of anti-Asian assaults, but this family is not ready to connect that with Tuesday's killings right now.
I don't think we're trying to say that there's not racial bias in this country. There certainly is. We don't know what motivated this at this point. We just know how we feel, and we know what we lost.
It's not Asian hate! And in the wake of the tragedy, demonstrators from coast to coast.
I'm Asian and I'm a woman, and if I don't stand up for myself, then no one else will.
Thousands of people gathering in solidarity with Asian Americans. And in Atlanta, a church service outside those businesses, with the community hoping for change.
It is important to note, police say the suspect in the spa shootings told them that race was not a factor. However, investigators are still looking into all possible motives. On the evening of March 15th, officers responded to a report of a man sitting on the ledge of the 5th floor of a parking garage. The man was identified as a 21-year-old OSU student. Officers quickly realized that the student was having a mental health crisis. They tried to engage him and eventually detained him down to safety. The two officers, Kurt Merrill and Damian Naswinger, spoke with the student once he had reached safety. PIO Kyle Bruce said in a statement, quote, "As the male placed his hands onto the area where he was seated to push himself forward, Officer Merrill lunged forward and wrapped his arms around the male." If you're having a mental health crisis yourself, help is available. You can call the National Suicide Prevention Hotline at 1-800-273-8255. Oklahoma State also offers free on-campus counseling. You can find more information at ucs.okstate.edu. We'll be right back. Josh Weisel will have the weather forecast on this rainy day. For the Daily O, I'm Brody Myers.
All right, welcome back, folks. I'm Joshua Weisel here in the Weather Center at the Ocala. We have a few things to mention weather-wise tonight, a few chances for showers and storms late tonight into the overnight hours like we've seen over the past couple of hours across Stillwater, but we also have some pleasant weather coming up in my 10-day forecast, so stick around for that. Starting with this evening and tonight, there's those yellow bars once again, and that means there is a potential for some strong to severe storms. But fortunately, I don't think we're going to see that much strong to severe storm activity across the area. We've had a lot of rain across Stillwater for the past couple of hours. That could cause the instability to go down for these, but still, a few storms could be capable of, let's say, some gusty winds up to 60 miles an hour and maybe some hail up to quarter size. So I'm keeping that in the forecast through at least 9 o'clock tonight, and that's going to be 100% overall shower and storm coverage. That's general thunderstorms, not severe, across the area for the next couple of hours until at least 10 p.m. tonight. And then as we head into the overnight into early tomorrow morning when you're headed out to class, a few rain chances by about 7, 8 a.m. or so, and we're going to see temperatures in the 40s across the area. So it's going to be chilly, and you're going to want a raincoat for the first start of the day tomorrow. So make sure that you pack an umbrella, raincoat, something like that as you head out for class early tomorrow morning. Moving on real quick, here's that severe weather outlook that I mentioned across the area. And like I said, it does cut Payne County in half. Oklahoma State is in part of that 1 out of 5 marginal risk. And with that being said, a few storms could be strong to severe with, like I said, 60-mile-an-hour winds, maybe some quarter-sized hail, but overall, the threat for severe weather is low, so I'm not expecting any sort of widespread severe weather activity like what we saw just a couple of days ago. Overall, just to the south, my hometown is going to see some severe weather, potentially large hail, in that 2 out of 5 slight risk, but fortunately, that's not for our area. So, like I said, storms are possible next couple of hours, so just stay weather alert just because there is that potential, but it is low. All right, so moving on, here's that risk, and like I said, I'm going to step over here so you can see it. Hail and wind look to be the primary hazards, with a overall moderate risk for flooding almost, just because of all the heavy rain that we've seen past couple of hours into the overnight hours as well. So make sure that if you're driving tonight that you are aware of ponding on roadways. It could not only create slick conditions for cars, but also if you come across a flooded road, make sure that you don't drive into that. Remember, turn around, don't drown. You don't want to risk your car or your life if you enter a flooded roadway. So as I move on, here's tomorrow afternoon. It's going to be a little bit more pleasant than what it's been today. High of 62, partly sunny conditions across the area. It's going to be warmer, but we're also going to have that partly sunny skies in the afternoon. So overall, pleasant day tomorrow afternoon and evening. And then as we head into Wednesday, more showers and storms will make their way into the area. 40% chance for some showers and storms. High of 60 across Stillwater and Oklahoma City. That rain coverage will be around 40%, so it's not going to be necessarily widespread, but there is a chance that we could see some pretty good rain coverage across Stillwater and Oklahoma City, at least as we're thinking now model-wise. So here's my 10-day forecast across the area. Showers and storms today, Wednesday, Thursday, and then as we head into the weekend, get a load of this. A high of 70 Saturday and Sunday, and we're going to see sunny skies, a low of 48 both days. And then as we head into next week, it looks relatively pleasant as we head through Wednesday. Highs almost near 80 as we're thinking right now for Tuesday. So overall, it's going to be a beautiful end of the week. We do have to get past these showers and storm chances as we head through Wednesday and Thursday. But overall, as we head into this weekend, it looks like we're going to have a good weekend of highs near 70, maybe even a little bit higher, and generally pleasant conditions. Stick around for sports coming up. Carson has an interview with Adam Engel, so stick around for that.
Oh, there you go. Superstar.
The end of the practice is when we do all of our intensity drills.
Okay.
She was going at it.
Stop. If we get them to Detroit by, let's say Monday the 15th. Right there. There we go. Yeah. Just, you can't.
Don't want to talk about it.
When you see the water tower, you're gonna make a right.
If we win this, is the one way to get to the playoffs.
I know.
Welcome back to the Daily O. I'm Karsten Melton, and I'm here joined by Ocali rider Adam Engel. Adam, thank you for joining us today.
No problem.
I understand you're here to talk about the Wrestling National Championships out in St. Louis. Why don't you tell me a little bit about how the Cowboys did?
Well, yeah, Carson, first of all, thank you so much for having me. Yeah, OSU placed third as a team, which, reminder, folks, was a lot better than many teams expected. So third as a team, 99.5 points. Coming into this weekend, OSU was ranked sixth as a team, according to the National Wrestling Coaches Association, number six. They brought 9 guys, which was, 90% of their team. If you look at a dual meet, there's 10 weights, so they brought 90% of their team there. 6 All-Americans, a really good showing. There were so many wrestlers that wrestled way far, way better than their seed, including 157-pound Wyatt Sheets, a man who was still wrestling. He was wrestling with an ACL injury. In fact, 2 weeks ago, he well, so he had a 1-2 performance, lackluster performance at Big 12s. 2 weeks ago, he was sitting in his natural resource economics class. He felt his phone keep vibrating. He goes out. He's like, "Coach, I'm in class." Coach texts him back. He's like, "Yeah, well, you're also in the national tournament," because he is a late addition. And then a crazy story. He became the first ever 33 seed to become an All-American. He finished 8th. A loss to, I believe, Caleb Young of Iowa in that 7th place match. And then, 3 other guys in non-finals. AJ Ferrari, 197. He won the 197-pound division, becoming the first true freshman for OSU to win a title since 1990 with Pat Smith in just the 3rd overall. And then at 133, Dayton Fix was upset. I guess not really upset. It was a 1 versus a 2 seed, but Roman Bravo Yan of Penn State got the win in sudden victory, 4-2 over the Sand Springs, Oklahoma native.
So it sounds like the Cowboys did a lot better than expected. Could this be a little bit of a momentum shift towards the to next season? Could we see a bigger showing from the Cowboys next year in Detroit?
Absolutely. Without a doubt. You look ahead to a year. I mean, the only guys that you're really losing is Boo Llewellyn. That's huge, though. Don't get me wrong. That's still a huge loss at 184. He's a senior. Still hasn't decided if he's going to use that 5th year or not. But yeah, at 149, Boo. I mean, he's already been here for 6 years. He's like, I've already been here for 6 years. I'm not going to be here for 7. So he will move on. But yeah. Trevor Master Giovanni at 125, he returns. In fact, next year, he'll be joined by his brother Travis Mastro Giovanni, Dustin Pla. Those 3 true freshmen will be back. And, of course, AJ Ferrari, man, he is back as well.
Are there any Cowboy wrestlers we should be keeping an eye on next year as potential big names moving forward?
Yeah, well, of course, AJ Ferrari, but a guy that I've been impressed with now, He wrestled 1 duel at 141, which is way above his weight class, but he's a true freshman from Omaha, Nebraska. His name, guys, keep in mind, or I guess keep this name in your head, Jakason Burks. He is going to be pretty impressive. He was undefeated in like extra duels, so he's undefeated 6-0 until he wrestled a competitive duel. Unfortunately, he got pinned by Dom Demas of OU, but keep in mind, this is a true freshman, 125 pounds. He wrestled at 141, and he didn't even, he weighed 135, and because 141 was so, those 2 guys were gone, he got called up to 141 and really held his own for 2 periods against a 2-time All-American.
All right, so that's who we can focus on for next year. The Olympic trials, they're coming up as well. Are there any Cowboys who could put their name in the Olympic trials? And do you think there are any Cowboys who could possibly make the United States Olympic team for Tokyo?
Yeah, for sure. So Dayton Fix at 133. Well, it's weird. I don't really have the Olympic metric system memorized, but in Olympic style, it's a different style than what you see in college, right? College, I believe, is folk style. Olympic, they have freestyle. They also have Greco-Roman. But Dayton Fix, and anyone that from OSU that would compete in, I believe, folk style. It is what it is. Actually, excuse me, it's freestyle. But I can't remember the kilograms because that's the Olympic weight, but yeah, Dayton Fix will be in there. He will be competing. AJ Ferrari, he is qualified. Still no word if he is going to compete. Now, if he did, this is a guy, 18, 19 years old, but he's competing with 2. To get there, he'd have to go past 2, already Olympic qualifiers. But hey, it's his home area of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so anything can happen.
Well, thank you, Adam, for joining us tonight. Be sure to keep up with Adam on Ocali.com for everything you need to know about Cowboy wrestling. Thanks for joining us, man.
Thank you.
Moving on from wrestling, Cowboy basketball had a pretty eventful weekend. Jace Andrews has the story.
This past weekend was huge for the Oklahoma State men's basketball team as they play in the NCAA tournament in the Indianapolis bubble. OSU started the weekend by taking on the 13-seeded Liberty, looking for their first tournament win since 2009. After falling to Texas in the Big 12 Tournament Championship, these Cowboys were ready to make sure this game was not their last.
Coming into the game, we had that sense of urgency because it's win or go home, and so we kept that in mind the whole game and fought to the end, and that's what we did.
Fight these Cowboys did, as the Cowboys took down Liberty 69-60 to advance to the round of 32. This game was close all the way through, but with some good defense and timely scoring from Matthew Alexander Moncrief, the Cowboys were able to pull away in the final minutes. Coach Boynton attributes this win and the recent success of the Cowboys to come from every guy being bought into this team in every moment.
And to their credit, we haven't always played great, but for the most part, everybody's been bought in, whether they're playing a lot, playing a little, scoring, not scoring, having a guard, and I think you see that in the results.
This team came out fighting on defense early against the Beavers, forcing Oregon State to shoot just 1 for 11 on their first 12 shots. Unfortunately, the Beavers had some fight in them as well, as they picked up their shooting to build a lead against Oklahoma State. These Cowboys were not done yet, though, as they showed off their grit going on a 12-5 run to bring OSU within 3 points. Unfortunately, these guys ran out of gas late as they fell 80-70. Though this team didn't get the results they wanted, Coach Boynton was proud of the fight his guys showed.
We showed the type of fight that I want this program to always have, and I was proud of the way we did try to give ourselves a chance.
Though this unfortunately marks the end of the season for the Cowboys, they have so much to be proud of and have a bright future ahead. With many Cowboys returning next year, this team looks to be a threat not only in the Big 12, but in the national ranks as well. With or without Caden Cunningham next year, even Caden knows this program is something special.
Yeah, I feel like, this is just the beginning with Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State finished its season with a 21-9 record that included 11 wins against Big 12 opponents, which is the most since 2013. OSU had a season that Cowboy Nation will not soon forget and have given a foundation for this program to grow. Thank you for tuning in to our coverage of Cowboy basketball all year long. For the Daily O, I'm Jay Sanders.
Thank you, Jace. OSU wasn't the only team with a loss, though, this weekend. Plenty of brackets got absolutely obliterated. Mine, surprisingly, not so much. But if you missed any of the games, here's a quick rundown of the winners and losers. First up, we have 11th-ranked UCLA beating 6th-ranked BYU 73-62. That was a pretty good upset. But the last game of that first round, 14th seed Abilene Christian took down the Big 12 champions Texas, which was a huge game, 53-52, absolutely incredible. Leaving a lot of March Madness fans with busted brackets. Moving throughout the weekend, yesterday we saw another big-time upset in the Loyola Chicago game. They took down number 1 seed Illinois 71-58. After this game, many bracket holders learned to never underestimate the power of Sister Jean. She picked this, by the way. Just want everyone to know. Continuing with underdog wins, Oral Roberts defeated 2nd seed Ohio State and then became the second 15 seed ever to move on to the Sweet 16. They took down Florida. They'll play the 3rd seed Arkansas this Saturday night. Finally, we had some games today. Just like this weekend, there's already plenty of upsets. There's only been 2 games, and yet 7th seed Oregon absolutely dominated the 2nd seed Iowa 95-80. Gonzaga and OU also went head-to-head this afternoon, and to most bracket holders' delight, you'll be happy to know that Gonzaga won their game against the Sooners. March Madness will continue this weekend when Oregon State faces off against Loyola Chicago this Saturday at 1:40 on ESPN. Another basketball news. Today, Lakers legend Elgin Baylor passed away at the age of 86. The Hall of Fame forward played for the Lakers for 14 seasons and saw 8 NBA Finals appearances. Baylor also served as the Los Angeles Clippers general manager for over 2 decades. Baylor was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame in 1977 and is one of only 6 people to be honored by the Lakers with a statue. The team also retired his jersey, number 22, in 1983. Baylor is survived by his daughter and wife, who said, quote, "Elgin was the love of my life and my best friend, and like everyone else, I was in awe of his immense courage, dignity, and the time he gave to all fans. At this time, we ask that I and our family be allowed to mourn his passing in privacy," end quote. Moving over to football, the NFL draft location has been announced. Cleveland, Ohio will be holding the draft on April 29th, and the Jacksonville Jaguars will have the first pick. That's all I have for sports today. Make sure to follow us on social media at @TheDailyO_TV. You can also watch our show on Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV, Roku, and on Suddenlink Channel 112. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We'll see you back here on Friday to recap the rest of March Madness from today. For the Daily O, I'm Karsten Melton.
The Daily O is brought to you by Firo's Fire-Kissed Pizza.
Hi everybody, my name is Emily Shooping. I'm your marketing coordinator for the Made in Oklahoma Coalition. I'm coming to you with an amazing opportunity. We are teaming up with the Ocali Media Group at Oklahoma State University. We want to tell your story on the following platforms: streaming, newspaper, and digital. This opportunity will not only allow your story to be told locally, but nationally as well. I am so excited for each of you to join in on this tremendous opportunity. This will not only be good for your business, but it will be good for our great state of Oklahoma. You can be expecting an email from me soon with more details about this opportunity. Local has a name, local has a face, local has a flavor. The Made in Oklahoma Coalition.